start packing the kitchen, it's important to protect your work surface. What you'll need is a box cutter, sealable bags, markers, hand wrap, tape, packing paper, and sturdy boxes. And once you have everything, it's time to rock and roll. When packing plates, it couldn't be any simpler. Place the plate towards the middle and layer plate by plate with a sheet of packing paper in between each plate. The rule of thumb in our industry is no more than 5 in a stack. Once you finish your bundle of 5 or less, you can wrap up the entire bundle and place these vertically in the box. For bowls, repeat. Bowl paper, and again, no more than 5 in a stack. Bowls go sideways in the box because if you have a stack of bowls placed upright and not sideways, the bowl at the bottom of the stack has to hold all of the weight. But when placing bowls on their side, the weight is distributed evenly to all the bowls. With pans, start with the larger pan, packing paper, then the next size down. The industry standard is no more than 2 in a stack, and if you have a bigger pot or pan, do not skimp on packing paper as stainless steel, copper, and aluminum can easily scratch or dent. The exact same thing here with pots, big stacked on small with packing paper in between. Even if the pots or pans are somewhat old and rusty, hearing metal clanking in the box is never something you or the client wants to hear. So no matter the appearance, ensure that these are protected. Lids can be wrapped up together, stacked vertically. Pots and pans can be laid flat. If they're very expensive or delicate, still lay them flat with little to no weight on top. For glasses, start at the end of the paper and roll loose. Do not wrap the glass tight. Wrapping the glass loose, or aka diaper wrapping, creates air pockets and provides extra protection. So here, wrapping loose the entire time, tucking in the corners when necessary. You'll want to pack these in the box vertically, just like you would set them down on the counter or table. For drinkware with handles, you want to be very mindful of the handle the entire time. Start by making some crush to wrap around the handle as shown, and then proceed to wrap as you would any glassware or cup. Again, the main difference here from a standard cup is to know where the handle is at all times, as it can easily break or chip. These again are going to be placed vertically, and if you are able to, line all the handles facing one way so it's easy to unpack. Other than China, stemware is one of the most common and delicate items we see every day, and this is the way you'll want to do it. Start by rolling up a piece of packing paper and wrap loosely around the stem. Then, you'll want to grab a second piece of packing paper to stuff inside the glass. Placing this second piece of paper inside the glass will prevent the thin glass from being hollow and will add more structure and protection to the piece. Finally, wrap like we did the other drinkware, being especially careful as too much pressure can cause the item to break. Again, one piece of packing paper around the stem, the second inside the glass, and the third and final to roll the stemware at the end. The proper way is still vertical, specifically stem up, mouth down. Packing utensils is as easy as it gets. Grab a handful and wrap like so. Packing like this will prevent metal on metal or a scattered mess when it comes to the unpacking. When it comes to the kitchen utensil tray, make sure to do it the right way. First, we are going to individually wrap each slot holder, starting with forks and spoons. When wrapping items, we always have safety in mind first, but also convenience. While at first this may seem unnecessary, you or the person unpacking your boxes will surely thank you. The last thing you want after moving is to clean up a mess made in your boxes. We are then going to take our hand plastic wrap to finish off the tray and make sure everything stays in its place. You can see here, it's so snug that we can even flip it upside down and nothing moves an inch. For Tupperware, make sure you are not wasting any space. Remove all lids, then stack the Tupperware and wrap the containers first. Second, you're going to wrap up the lids. Take both the lids and the base and bundle them all together. These items are going to be one of the last things you'll want to put in the box because they are very light. Now we are going to pack some appliances. When packing appliances, you want to make sure you separate any loose components and parts, as these can be damaged if they get jostled around. Start by protecting the handle of the blender. Whether plastic or glass, you can actually leave the lid on. If you do have separate parts though, ensure you pack them in the same box to have a quick and smooth unload process. Most of the time, the cords are fixed, but some of the units have cords that come off. Either way, with the cords, make sure that they are secured. When unpacking, You do not want to remove a loose cord and accidentally yank something else out of place. This can cause items to go everywhere or damage something adjacent to the piece. Again, make sure to properly secure the cord and wrap up like shown. It is also important to check with the client beforehand to know what they want immediate access to. Many times, appliances are one of the first things customers want when setting up their new kitchen, and if we are not unpacking, we want to make sure they know which box it's in with great labeling. People who make coffee, smoothies, or toast every morning do not want to go on a wild goose chase to find the item they desire. Any appliance that has or may have liquids in them must be checked before packing. If wet, make sure to use a nearby dish towel or cloth to wipe them dry. Then, wrap like shown. Make sure the cord is secured, and again, with multiple components, ensure the base and the top are right next to each other in the box to make the unpacking more organized. When packing glass jars, make some crush to create more density into the dead space. Then you're going to take a second piece of crush to wrap around the handle. Again, always double check your handle and make sure it's padded before you pack it into the box. Some common items we cannot transport are cleaning products, paints, aerosol cans, gasoline, lighter fluid, oxygen bottles, propane cylinders, and nail polish removal. For alcohol and glass bottles containing liquid, it is best to place them in plastic bags before going into a cardboard box. While we cannot transport these items, we can assist in packing them as well as loading and unloading them in the client's vehicle. Strong Moving advises disposing of perishable food or food stored in jars before move day. Though not common, these items can break, leak, or develop mold before reaching their destination. On the other hand, non-perishables like boxed or canned products, including dehydrated fruits, seasonings, or oils, typically travel without any issue. If you're uncertain about what items your movers won't transport, don't hesitate to reach out. For taping your dish pack, it is very important to reinforce with tape as shown below. Make sure to start with 3 strips of tape, ensuring each strip of tape touches the next strip of tape. This box can get quite heavy, and it's the last box you'll want giving out or warping due to improper reinforcement. Remember to make sure that the tape touches the tape, and if preferred, you can even put a third and final layer of tape right on top like you see here. Line the bottom of the box with crush, and we'll start with plates. Make sure these are placed vertically, just like you would place them in the dishwasher. Next, we'll put some bowls in sideways, followed by some pots and pans. Again, as you're packing this first layer, make sure you are filling in all the nooks and crannies, and you can always do the wiggle test. Again, the wiggle test is just giving the item a slight wiggle, and if any item shifts, just add some more crush as needed. Once you finished your first layer, lay a second layer of crush on top. Line up all the drinkware here as shown and fill in any dead space with crush as needed. When packing the drinkware against each other, be very mindful of any handles and make sure you don't hear any clinking, which would be from exposed glass on glass. Make sure again to fill any dead space, especially the corners. Our third and final section will need a third layer of crush, starting here with the utensil tray, followed by some light appliances and Tupperware. Every kitchen box will likely be a little different, but the third layer will always contain the lightest items. You are not forcing anything into place, but placing the items in as snug as possible. Again, fill any nooks and crannies with crush and finish off with your fourth and final layer of crush. Whether you ball the crush up or line it up like so, either will work. You just gotta make sure that you have some crush that's slightly overflowing above the lid, and this will make it the safest box possible. If you tape your sides, remove the tape, fold the ends, and tape the top as shown. Finish with the pink tape to denote it's fragile and label accordingly. Place your hands through the handle and carry as shown. Grab another box and line it with crush. Here, starting with the knife block and placing it along one of the walls. We're going to follow that up by a heavier and sturdy appliance to put at the base. Then we're going to put some cooking utensils and some high-end individually wrapped knives next to it. And to finish the top, nothing fancy here, but this is showing how lighter items would be placed on top while still emphasizing them fitting snug and tight. Finish the box with some crush and make sure it's filled head to toe, then close. Here, highlighting a quick pro tip to use your leg and arm to squeeze the box in tight. This will make the box tighter and much less likely to come open or jostle. When lining the strips of tape, specifically the first strip, make sure the flaps are touching. Finish the box with tape and label accordingly. Here, we are going to finish off with packing the stemware. We're going to take two 1.5s and fit them in the dish pack. Make sure your box is lined with crush and you can begin packing. Again, the proper way is mouth down, stem up as shown. Place stemware in as shown, and especially with stemware, don't be afraid to use too much crush. Go ahead and tape to denote it's fragile with a pink strip, label, and place this at the bottom of the dish pack. Have crush already in your dish pack and place the first 1.5 at the bottom of the dish pack. Fill in the sides with crush to make sure there is extra padding. Pro tip here, feel free to forgo the crush for dish towels or other items in the kitchen to pad around the box. Then line a second layer of crush on top and place the second 1.5 there. You can see you are even able to push down on the box below slightly and it has plenty of cushion. Again, secure the second box with crush to prevent any shifting. Use balled up crush or lined crush to finish off the dish pack. Again, make sure no matter which one you use that the crush is overflowing above the brim of the box. Denote it's fragile with pink tape, label accordingly, poke through the handles, and you're good to rock and roll. To begin preparing pictures and TVs, you will need tape, packing paper, plastic wrap, markers, bubble wrap, and sturdy boxes. With TV boxes, you'll almost always have two boxes, an inner and an outer. Start by preparing the inner as shown by folding the flaps and securing with tape. Once you have the inner and outer box ready, you are ready to begin prepping the television. Make sure whenever you are prepping a TV to have all the material in reaching distance so you don't leave one person holding the TV without help. Grab foam corners and put on the corner of the TV. Your foam corners should be adjustable based off the thickness of the screen, and we do want these on as tight as possible. Start top to bottom and make sure there are always at least two hands on the TV. Complete the bottom two corners the exact same way as the top. Starting with the inner box, gently place the TV all the way inside the box. Then grab your outer box and cocoon it around the inner box. Make sure somebody is lifting up on the TV to allow the boxes to come together with ease. Make sure everything is in tight and wrap the box to secure. Side note, this is a great trick to be able to wrap solo. Bundle up some plastic wrap, stick it to the corner, and it will hold your wrap in place. Make sure to mark the box as TV with arrows. Even if the box you are using has arrows, draw some extra to ensure the TV is being transported upright. TV boxes are expensive and not always needed. This second method can be used. Here, we'll be prepping a TV without a TV box. Start by laying a secondary blanket down, fold the blanket around the TV. Then, plastic wrap the blanket onto the TV, and once wrapped and padded, grab a mirror pack or standard box that can cover the entire screen. Remember, TVs should never be laid flat at any point, so make sure to mark the arrows to emphasize it needs to be transported upright. Make sure to have your helper lift up on the corners to get the entire top and bottom. Note, with large, thin TVs, especially LED or plasma, TV boxes are highly recommended. Starting with a picture box, make sure to fold the corners in tight and secure it with tape as shown. These boxes will shape around the piece, so depending on the size of your boxes, you may only need one or two. Here we are going to need at least 4 total, so we are making 3 more just like this. To give the corners of the item extra protection, take some packing paper and tuck into all 4 corners. Line out some bubble wrap, as this will be the base of the item. Tape the folded bubble wrap to the corners as shown. To prepare safely, do this with a partner and make sure one way or another, 2 hands are always holding the piece. While this can be done individually, it is much easier and safer to prepare with a partner. You must be very aware of the picture's texture and delicacy the entire time you are preparing. With taping items like these, there are 3 don'ts. Don't tape too tight, don't use tape with strong adhesion, and while the third is the most common sense, don't ever apply tape to an exposed piece of the item. This is true for furniture as well, but especially for pictures, paintings, and TVs. Now that the picture is protected with bubble wrap and secured with tape, take the 4 boxes we built earlier and start with the corners. This specific picture was too large for the 4 boxes to cover the face of the picture, so just grab an extra box and tuck it in the middle between the 4 corners. The center of any picture or painting is even more delicate than the corners, so it's important to play it safe with another box. To secure the picture boxes, we'll finish off with wrapping them all together. Similar to tape, don't wrap too tight as this can crush the item. To wrap the item fully, you want to go head to toe, leaving nothing uncovered. This item will be good to go in the truck, and if possible, keep it upright the entire time you're moving it. We will also show you how to prep less delicate pictures without picture boxes as well. Lay a secondary blanket down and place the picture on the blanket. Make clean, neat folds and tape the blanket securely. Plastic wrap the blanket securely and grab a mirror pack or standard box that can cover the entire face of the picture. Proceed to plastic wrap the box of the face side to the picture and you are ready to rock and roll. First, we are going to disconnect the lamps and make sure the cords are not in our way. After having the lamps in a great spot, let's set up a quick workstation. Since there is no room for a table or flat surface, we can use the bed. We will need packing paper, tape, markers, and a box cutter. Start by unscrewing the lock that secures the shade and harp together, then remove the shade and set aside as shown. Most lamps come in a matching set, which is the way you'll want to pack them, so take the 2 locks and wrap up like so. Make sure you are using tape, preferably colored, so that these are not mistaken for crush and do not get thrown away or recycled by mistake. Now remove the heart from the base, being mindful of the bulb. Bundle both harps together by first wrapping one completely, taking the same sheet, and then stacking the other harp as shown. Just like anything else, if you see an exposed part of the piece, make sure to grab another sheet of packing paper to finish off the bundle correctly. Tape together and label accordingly. Next, remove the light bulbs and wrap up like shown. The lamps will go into 2 separate boxes. Start with a box filled with crush, placing the first lampshade upside down into the box. Place a sheet of packing paper in between the first lampshade, then grab the second and stack it into the other. Most lampshades will stack onto each other just as you would a red Solo cup onto a red Solo cup. Into the top lampshade is a perfect spot to delicately place the lamp components, starting with the harp, then the locks, and finally, the bulbs. Fill in the nooks and crannies with crush, keeping in mind that the lampshade is very flimsy. Then denote that this box is fragile with pink tape. For the second box, grab a lamp base and make sure the cord is removed or wrapped securely. Place this into a small box with crush at the base and begin placing crush on top. Grab the second lamp base and place on top in a snug spot. If the homeowner is okay with reducing packing paper, it is recommended to use throw pillows and other items with cushion instead of packing paper when possible. Again, make sure that there is no dead space, so grab a second pillow followed by a sheet of packing paper to ensure the pillows stay clean and taped shut. It's great to note that you now have 1 normal box and only 1 fragile box instead of 2 fragile boxes. For the bedding, start with 1 sheet of packing paper for cleanliness at the bottom of the box to stack the pillows. This is a great time for a large box. Pro tip, that anytime you have a light, non-fragile item, large boxes are best, heavier items are best for small boxes, and medium boxes are great for a catch-all. Then fold the sheets neatly and make sure to place the sheets into the boxes as you go. This way, bedding boxes, when you unpack, will be super organized in the reverse order we packed it, making everything perfect. The first thing you'll open is the mattress cover to the fitted sheet, all the way to the pillows which go on last when making the bed in the new home. Finish off with a sheet of packing paper for cleanliness, tape the box secure, and label accordingly. For packing closets, wardrobe boxes are your best friend. Start by securing the bottom by lining 3 strips down the middle and reinforcing the sides. Then, fold the opening side down and grab the hanger that goes with the box. Place the hanger into the upper slats as shown and tape down securely. Packing with wardrobe boxes are all for making the moving process easier. Clothes can stay in their respective order, stay on the hanger, they won't wrinkle or fold, and overall, packing wardrobe boxes is incredibly efficient. That being said, if the wardrobe hanger gets shifted due to not being taped in securely, you will have a big unwanted mess when unpacking. Start the wardrobe box by placing shoes at the bottom of the box. Note, if you have extremely expensive dresses, suits, or sentimental attire, we recommend to put just clothes and nothing else in these wardrobe boxes. After placing shoes or shoe boxes at the bottom, grab a set of clothes and make sure the sleeves are straightened as they are being placed into the box. Again, this is to prevent wrinkling as well to make sure everything is neat and organized. You can also place items like purses or light backpacks at the bottom of the box. Finally, last but not least, lay a strip of tape along the hanger as shown to secure the clothes and hangers even further. You can see here taking that hand and running it along the entire bar to make sure nothing gets shifted during moving. Fold the smaller flaps in first, then finish off with the opening flap. You'll notice when taping this box, one hand is pulling the box in while the body is pushing against the box to make sure the box is being sealed tight and secure. Finish off with tape and label appropriately. Fit hands into the handle and carry out as shown.